Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Nina Anderson. I'm the Executive Director of TOVA Community Health. Welcome back for another season of TOVA Tuesday. This is on our TOVA Health TV platform on YouTube. Listen, I bring on guests that are community leaders, practitioners, and healers in our community with the aim to educate our viewing audience about ways to empower themselves and to live their best lives and build a sense of community. And I am so honored to have on Tova Tuesday today Mrs. Cierra Hall-Hipkins, who is the Executive Director of Network Connect and the co-founder of Network Connect. And she will be joining us on Tova Tuesday today. Hey, listen, in Delaware, we have such talented leaders that we may never know about, and we need to have the opportunities to have platforms so what we can share with other organizations, resources, and those in the community that are actually out on the front line serving our youth and our families. So without further ado, I am going to bring on Miss Cierra Hall-Hipkins. Welcome to Tova Tuesday. How are you today?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk to you.
I had an opportunity to look at your resume and just noticed that it seemed like of all of your career that you have a passion for serving the community and the youth. I wanted you to talk about your background working in the nonprofit sector and what led you to found Network Connect.
Oh, those are great questions. I've always been what people might consider a helping person. From high school, I graduated from Howard High School here in Wilmington. Um,
Oh, nice.
very, very community engaged, even at that high school age. I went to college at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, and during college, I realized I really had a passion around mental health and recovering, healing activities, recovering from trauma. I actually changed my major in college from the PA physician assistance program into rehabilitation and mental health services. And I learned fast, and I have been working in helping fields even in high school. And so it was natural to go into that kind of work as a career woman, so to speak. I started off in Baltimore working at Shepherd Pratt in their hospital and in their school. I moved into a position with an agency in Baltimore called Humanum, and that's really when I started, leading professionals, helping professionals on the ground in the day program services and workforce development and job development types of positions. And then Humana moved me back to Delaware to start the regional work here in this area for Humanum, and we launched a youth workforce development program. And I just fell in love with my city all over again. I was so excited to come back home to Wilmington, and I just really enjoy being able to bring the things that I've learned in the other states that I've lived back home. And so that's really how Network Connect began, is doing those different things in other states or other initiatives, and wanting to address gaps that I saw in my career in the nonprofit sector through this agency.
So I noticed that you also have a passion for serving youth and their families. Can you talk about that?
Yes, of course. I love young people. I actually served I was a director of student affairs for a girls' school called Servium Girls Academy. I
Yeah.
really enjoy just spending time and watching them, the middle school age group, just watching them go from, starting from mirror to window, right? Starting to pay attention to how they're showing up in the world. And then with the nonprofit work that I've done, it's really, really been geared towards youth, even at the hospital, working on the units, the mental health units. And I just feel like when youth have strong support systems, they are just superstars. They're rock stars, and you see their creativity and you see their potential grow. And so when you can build that family dynamic, it's also better for our children. And I can't remember. There's a famous quote around the investment into our youth is really the best investment that we can make. And I really do believe that they're our future. I know that's cliche, but the stronger they are, the better we are in the future as a community. And so I really, really take that seriously and try to spend as much time with youth and families in the work that we do in this agency as possible.
Wow. And I would say that you are making an impact in Delaware and especially with the youth in Wilmington. And in 2022, you were awarded the Emerging Champions Award from the Office of the Governor. Well, that's quite an honor. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, our agency was awarded, right? I'm
Okay.
one person, but there are over 50 people who make up our agency. At that time, we were a lot smaller, but that work came from our work in COVID. When everybody else was closing their doors, Network Connect was actually opening their doors and welcoming youth
Mhm,
in and into our learning spaces. We also launched our community well-being ambassador program during that time, and so that was really a direct resource for people who were having trouble with mental health or
mhm,
resource connection. And so, the state paid attention to that work. We were really impactful, and we continue to be impactful. And so it's just an honor to have a great, outstanding team who works very hard and trains very hard, who's from the community and they look like the people they serve, but
mhm.
also for our governor, our leaders, to recognize the need and celebrate the impact that we were able to bring. So I love that we were able to just be recognized for the stuff that we do on a regular basis.
So I would just say that you, to me, are a leader mentor, but running a nonprofit is takes a lot of your time. How do you balance that work-life balance, being a leader in your organization, but also doing things outside of Network Connect that give you peace and joy?
That's something we in our agency really focus on. We make sure our staff is paying attention to self-care. We have things in place like self-care days and self-care weeks and internal therapists that they can see that prevent burnout. And so I definitely have to practice what I preach, right? As that mentor
I'm
leader.
coming to Network Connect.
It's a great place to work if I must say so myself, but I'm biased. I'm not perfect in this. I really like to start with that when people ask me this question, because I believe self-care and work-life balance is an everyday journey. Especially when you're passionate about the work you do. I don't consider this work, right? I'm blessed to be able to serve on a regular basis. So some of the things that I really try to focus on is paying attention to my internal compass and paying attention into how I'm feeling, and making sure that I'm taking time when I am overwhelmed or frustrated, and doing things that really pour into me, that foster healing, not just stepping away, but doing things like meditation or, taking a walk or spending time in nature. I love to read, so I love a good book. I don't get to read a lot, so I really try to focus on when I do have that time to do something that I really love and that's going to fill my cup. And then I think one of the major parts of my work life balance is I get joy from the work that I do every day. And sometimes being a leader, you don't get to be on the front lines anymore. Most times, right? I'm in this office making sure things work. And so, in my free time, I try to do the things that I'm also, gifted to do, which is, facilitation and teaching. I spend time at Salem Community College or local churches teaching about social emotional learning or trauma informed care or Narcan and substance use disorder. So I don't get to do that a lot in my everyday work. So I make sure I make time for that. Um, when it's time to go out into the community and fill up on service, I like to say.
Thank you so much for that. And I want to say that having read your bio and the amazing programs that you've started at Network Connect, I was truly humbled. But one of the things that came across to me when I was just learning about Sierra was, to me, I see you as a leader mentor. And I happened to look that up because I wanted to say, okay, I'm not just, making this up, but to me, that you exemplify those traits of what a leader is. And I'm just going to share what a leader mentor is. Can you see the screen?
I can.
A leader mentor to me is a visionary leader who uses their skills, talents, and experience to guide and inspire emerging leaders. This is my definition, Dr. Neat.
Mhm.
But I think of you as a leader mentor. Can you talk about that?
Yes, I truly, really, really believe that in collective impact, our agency is focused on collective impact. I think we are stronger when we are working collaboratively with one another. And we're able to stay focused in our own individual gifts or our own individual missions when you talk about agency, which helps the community grow. I think when I think of leader mentor, I say servant leader. I'm definitely a servant leader, and a leader mentor meets that too. I think of a person who, like you said, is a visionary, but also is willing to slow down and help others meet their vision. They're also willing to pour into other people to help foster those passion projects that they might have. And I spend a lot of time with other community leaders, especially grassroots leaders, doing just that. And so, like I said, we're stronger together, and you want to see the next generations of leaders get that baton a little easier, right? And because they will one day take over for me. And I
Mhm.
hope that they are well prepared and they have been a part of this journey. And then for those of them that stand right beside me, sometimes I might know something that they don't, and they might know something that I don't. And so when we are able to put our heads together and really collectively work together and collaborate in meaningful ways, it makes for a stronger Delaware and the surrounding areas.
I agree with you 100%. And some of the programs, I mean, that are just doing that. And I am confident to say that our next generation of leaders, if they go through Network Connect, they're going to be ready. So be ready, Delaware. Can you talk a little bit about a few of your programs? I also did not put on Recovery Cafe, knowing that their mental awareness month is in October and that you're already on the ground doing the work to raise awareness about mental health in our community and the importance of accessing therapeutic services if you need to. But just share with the community about your programs.
Yeah, we have a lot of programs. I see two just off top that aren't there. Um, the Future Culture Creators Program is enlisted, and that's our workforce development program for youth in the state. Throughout the state right now, we're on cohort 9, and there are 37 youth in that program in Kent, Sussex, and Newcastle County. And it's actually the program that started our work. So I plug that in there. I love that program because it's building, like you said, the leaders of tomorrow. We're creating future culture creators on purpose by showing up for them. Our community well-being ambassador program, which is listed, is one of our largest programs. It's also statewide in all 3 counties, and we're really focused on going into the community, teaching skills for psychological recovery, which is an evidence-based model that helps people be able to grow skill on their own, and we do it in a way we hire people from the community that they serve, and they are actually in on the ground, door to door, talking with people. They do 21st century case management is what we've defined it as, or we're door to door with you, we're peer to peer with you, side by side while you learn. And then we also connect them to resources in that program. We have helped a lot of people. We distribute hundreds of Narcan kits throughout the state on a regular basis, but we've also helped a lot of people with those social determinants of health type of resource connections, where it might be housing or food insecurity or physical health, or engaging their youth and children. And so that program is pretty large. We also have our Race to Wellness initiative, which RACE stands for Reverse the Effects of Adverse Childhood Experiences. And that one is really, I mean, all of them are my babies, right? As a founder. But that one is really close to chest because a lot of our students, especially in the month of October, right, when we're talking about bullying and recovery, just the past month, a lot of our young people are experiencing trauma and rates that we didn't. I will speak for myself. My generation didn't always have that type of engagement in what they get to see. And so it's really important for us to really focus in and be able to provide resources that foster healing, and also inform them about ACEs. So adverse child experiences affects us all, and you're more likely to combat them when you're aware and you have healing techniques and mechanisms in place. And so we have race kits that are mental wellness kits in a box, and we distribute them throughout the state of Delaware, supported by Department of Education. We also have race programs where we're hosting healing activities in schools and after school. And we throw race days where we actually have fun in the community with fun healing activities, DJ, dance, food, but also fostering healing and talking about those things that combat ACEs. And then finally, under that program, we run a summer camp every summer that the participants are usually middle school age, and they come into our agency and they are just loved and taught how to heal, how to care for themselves, how to identify when they need a tap in, and start thinking about ways that they can engage as little humans, little people, their own healing processes. And so race is really important, and it's one of my favorite programs as well. It's very informative, but it's also skill building.
Mm.
There are many more. I mean, I could keep going, but we have the messengers, the credible messengers who are in the community. We have Dual School, which we acquired. Zach was the founder. He now sits on our board, and we teach design thinking skills to youth and young adults. Our Wilmington Street Team, which is also a collective impact approach. So is the Community Wellbeing Ambassador Program. The Wilmington Street Team is really focused on combating violence and both prevention and intervention in the two areas of the city of Wilmington right now is under a pilot phase. East and Northeast Wilmington, we have people who are actually trained in CVPI, which is Community Violence Intervention and Prevention, by Newark Street Team in New Jersey, and their larger agency came and trained us all up. And we respond to violent events, but we also do a lot of feeding, Narcan distribution, taking people to rehab. Just
Mhm.
last week, we took 5 people to rehab under that program. Um, Youth engagement. We're trying to both intervene but also attack root cause issues as we are serving the community. And so we've had great progress in the last year and a half, and we hope to expand it. We're just awarded for that program last week by the city council. So we continue to just try to stay true to our mission, which is really focusing on trauma and providing resources around community healing and capacity building for those hard to reach communities, through many lenses. So there are a lot of programs, but they are really all really true to mission and focused on providing resources in those gap areas.
Wow, this is so amazing. And I'm humbled to hear about all your services. And I want our community, if you have young children, to make sure that you reach out to Network Connect so that they can be involved in the plethora of the programs that are offered. And I just wish when I was their age that I could have had a Network Connect to have access to. But I want to talk about mental health awareness. One of the programs that I have, it's called TOVA Talk Therapy. And initially, the word therapy for some people in our community is very stigmatizing, and they're kind of reserved for wanting to get on to our virtual support group and just talk. So we ended up taking out the word therapy and just say, it's just called TOVA Talk. We're just here. You're just talking about a topic. We're just empower you to live your best life, to build a sense of community so you don't feel so isolating when you're battling multiple chronic conditions.
Yeah,
That
that's
made
important.
a difference. But talk about your program, the recovery program, and the initiatives that you are launching to make sure that our community has safe space just to talk to someone.
Yeah. Again, we serve youth and families. So these programs that we're going to talk about are adult focused, like the community wellbeing ambassadors. The Recovery Cafe, we're actually a part of the Recovery Cafe network. We spent a good amount of time training under the Recovery Cafe network, which is the national agency that helps launch these recovery cafes across the nation.
Okay.
Um, and they're really focused on providing, just like you said, a safe space for people who are in their healing process, whether it be from substance use disorder or mental health disorders. And I love the model. It really fits what we do because it's very people first. It's open to everyone. It's a open space where people from all walks of life can come gather together and really learn and grow together. It's membership based, so you join. There's feed. We feed every day. You get a great cup of coffee, a nice finish.
Mm-hmm.
But there are activities where we have speakers come in, or we have healing groups. We have different open mic nights, and they've done walking groups and things of that nature. Lots of activities for people who are just looking for their community as they recover, right? Another thing under that initiative, and our Recovery Cafe is supported through the network as well as Highmark Health Options. Another initiative under that umbrella is our healing circle. So we host healing circles in our Recovery Cafe for all our members, and we decided to take those on tour. And like you said, there's stigma around therapy,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when you hear healing circles, it doesn't sound like talk therapy, right? It has a
Mm-hmm.
different feeling. And so we actually take our healing circles. We're taking them on tour now, and it's also a collective impact project where we're partnering with therapists and other groups, gun violence prevention groups, and family groups to actually host the healing circles. They are all across the state, up and down the state, as well as in our Recovery Cafe, because we just want people to know that there are multiple resources. We aren't the only game in town, and there are a lot of people who are suffering from hurt and trauma and recovering from substance use disorder, and making sure that they have the supports that they need make our community stronger.
Thank you so much for that. And I will say that it's so important that people in our community have safe places just to talk and to share in a non-threatening environment. And I think that your programs like Recovery Connect provide that opportunity so that they can get on that journey of healing, which is so important. But I just want to segue to talk about bullying prevention because October is National Bullying Prevention Month. And I'm older, so I didn't have to deal with cyberbullying when I was in school and as a youth. But I was just so amazed at the stressors that our youth are under these days, and that even going to school or going home in the social media impact of their interactions and text messages and online chats, can be very distressing to our youth. And can you talk about that? And what are some tips for parents and caregivers to make sure that our youth have safe places just to talk about that if they're experiencing bullying?
Yeah, I do. Bullying is a big thing for not only young people but adults as well. I think it's important for support systems, people who are helping people heal, to talk to parents and support systems about having open conversations, right? So that you are aware when bullying is happening to your loved one, but also actively listening. Sometimes just sharing and speaking out about what you're experiencing will help you yourself start to be able to heal, but also create an action plan. I also think it's important for parents to be an active part of the social media life of their children under 18, know what sites they're on, monitor how they're engaging on those sites, and encourage them to use it appropriately, but also to respect the boundaries of others. Um, I know another, I think, thing that we forget about when we're talking about bullying is that it's okay to not have the answers as a parent. So rely on the resources around you at school, at NAMI. We partner with a grassroots organization called Ascending Generations, and they have bullying services in the schools. I think that sometimes it is important as a parent to have a go to toolkit for instances where you might not have all the answers, because there is no playbook for parenting,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Yes.
so making sure that you have those supports in place and those resources in place that you can send your child to or go to with your child to really build the foundation that you have as a parent, because we're all just doing the best we can with what we have. And so just making sure what we have also includes some supports that aren't necessarily in our household.
Thank you for that. And I also want to just share that I was just not even aware of as a healthcare provider that the Pew Research Center and the Cyberbullying and Research Center said that approximately 55% of students report experiencing cyberbullying at some point in their lives.
Mhm.
That is astounding. Do you find that to be the case?
Absolutely. I think bullying as well as violence breeds on, for young people, breeds on social media, and on the internet. And that's why I said it's really important for parents to be really paying attention how their child is engaging when they're on their computer. Making sure that not only you're protecting them from bullying, but that they aren't a part of the problem as well, and making sure you're having those conversations. I think another, us as community leaders and practitioners and doctors, we have to continue to have the conversation with our young people around how to engage respectfully on those sites, but also how to protect themselves, making sure that they're not targeted, and so that they have an open spot. I think the more that youth feel connected, the better they are with sharing. And so building trust
Mhm.
is important when we're talking about cyberbullying or bullying in general, making sure that the older generation is building a trust system with the young folks so that they can talk a little bit more about what they're experiencing, and also learn from us on how to engage in a responsible way.
Yeah, I want to say that everything you're saying, I just totally agree with you. And as you said, as a parent, you want to make sure that your children have the opportunity to come to you when they have these concerns, and that you will be able to listen without judgment or going off, first and foremost. And like you say, you may not have all the answers, but you will try to find resources for your child so that they can navigate through these difficult situations that they may experience along their journeys. Do you agree with that? How do you teach parents to say, talk to your children about bullying? Just like when you talk to them about how was your day at school today? How do
Yeah.
you bring those conversations?
I mean, I use the words active listening, and sometimes that's a skill that you need to work on. Like, that means that I'm listening and I'm not responding or reacting to what's being said. I'm trying to make sure that I allow the open space. But I also talk to parents about um, doing the long work, making sure you're building those trustworthy engagements prior to an incident happening. Like, our youth should feel comfortable coming to us and talking about, like you said, just the everyday things. How are you feeling? How was English class? What was your favorite part about today? Having those conversations,
Mhm.
showing you care, so that it makes it easier for them to come to you when the hard things are coming up. Don't wait for them, but build it along the way. I also think one of the things that the teens will say is they like their space, right? They want to have the autonomy to make decisions for themselves, and they need that to be productive adults. And so allowing them to sometime have wins and failures is a part of their adolescent
Mhm.
growth. And so our job as leaders and parents is to make sure those failures aren't debilitating, but they are learning opportunities. So when they're having failures, make sure you are approaching those failures as learning opportunities and helping them see that as well.
That is so important because that builds resilience and tenacity skills that will help them out as they get older and they have to navigate more complex situations in their lives. So you're building and you're planting those seeds early on, which is very, very important. But we could talk forever because I am just writing things down and I'm tuning in because you're also helping me be a better practitioner and be able to serve the community as well. So I thank you so much for your time today. But we close, I want to be able to share with the community how they can find more about Network Connect and the programs and services that you offer to the community.
Yeah, so we are on all the socials, and our website is www.networkconnect.org.
Okay.
We also have a Facebook page, networkconnect.org, and we have an Instagram page called We Are Network Connect. We're on LinkedIn as Network Connect Inc. You guys can call us. Our Wilmington office is, I see you just pulled that up. Our Wilmington office number is
Yep.
online. We also have offices in Kent and Sussex County. So we're just a call away, and most times in the community, a street away from you. So feel free to reach out when you see us. You see those Network Connect t-shirts out, and let us know how we can assist you, but also how we can build your skill, how we can help you be stronger and better for the community around you.
So if you're a parent and you have a young child, make sure they're connected with Network Connect. There's a plethora of programs that your child can get involved with. And I just wish when I was your youth age that I had these opportunities living in the city of Wilmington, and how lucky we are to have Cierra in our community leading and mentoring our next generation of emerging leaders. So before I end, I always ask a very hard and heavy question.
Ooh,
And what I would like to know is, how do you want to be remembered?
ooh, that's a good one. I want to be remembered as a servant leader who served with integrity. I want to be remembered as a great mom. I have a 7-year-old boy. Um, I want to make sure that each day on earth, I want to die empty. That's the ultimate goal. I want to give everything that, has been given to me by my higher power to the people that he assigned it to. And I want to make sure that I do that in a way that is gracious, but also that is supportive to people's needs and not necessarily supportive to what I need. So I would say I want to be remembered as a servant leader who just served with integrity and was trying to help as many people as I could.
Wow, I don't have any comment on that. Was just well stated. And again, you're doing just that. And I am so humbled to have had the opportunity to just talk to you today and just know that, sometimes we don't see other people doing such great work in our community. And just to know that they're out there and they're doing the work, it just humbles me. And to know that there are resources that our youth families can tap into, and it's just a phone call away. So again, I want to say thank you to Miss Sierra for joining us on TOVA Tuesday today. I want to make sure that the community knows that they can go to www.networkconnect.org to find out more information about Network Connect, or just a phone call away. If you have any questions, just call the main office at 300-122. That's area code 302. And if you need help, just call us at TOVA Community Health and we will connect you. We really want to make sure that we are providing resources and sharing knowledge and programs that help lift our community up, as we surely need it in these trying times. I want to thank our audience for joining us on TOVA Health TV today. If you want to see season 5, this episode with Miss Cierra Hall-Hipkins, Executive Director of Network Connect, please go to our website at www.tovacommunityhealth.org. You can also like us on our Facebook page at TOVA Community Health or our Instagram page at TOVA Community Health. If you like this episode and want to hear others, please be sure to make a donation to our Cash App, $TOVA Health, or our PayPal link, contact@tovacommunityhealth.org. Again, I want to say thank you so much for coming on TOVA Tuesday today. And I wish you well and much success as you continue on to build all these fantastic programs, and that you are doing a phenomenal job of empowering our youth and families. And I know the work you're doing is going to make for such great leaders in our community, for the next generation coming up. And I feel so honored to have met you today.
Well,
Thank you, Mrs. Sierra. You
thank
have
you.
a good day.
You have a good
All
one.
right. Take care.